Namaste everyone. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the ISHTA DEVATA. Okay, so there's a session that I had conducted on how to calculate the various devatas in the horoscope. It's on YouTube. If you want to watch that session, it's there. You can go and watch it. But here I actually want to talk specifically about the ISHTA DEVATA. Okay, so I've spoken about three types of karmas in my previous videos. Okay, the three types of karmas are the drida karmas, which are the fixed karmas. Okay, then the adrida karma, which are which are semi-fixed sort of karmas, and then there are the adrida karmas, which are which are non-fixed. Okay, and it is the nature of the karmas themselves, drida karma, adrida, or adrida, which determines how strongly a graha can grasp. Okay, and to know what a graha is, I've given a detailed video that is also available on YouTube. Okay, so for drida karmas, the grahas, they seize the native and they simply refuse to let go. Okay, and for while for adrida karmas, they can be pried loose with some with some remedies. Okay, with some easy remedies. All right, and the remedies which they are designed to to prevent or correct undesirable seizures, that which cause you to perform selfish or evil karmas. Okay, and sometimes what happens is that these remedies or upayas, as we call them, they encourage seizure by benefic grahas, which will keep your mind moving in a healthy direction. Okay, so but then the best remedy of all is to worship the ISHTA DEVATA, a personal deity, which is the remedy that that even jyotishis use to keep themselves free from being afflicted by grahas in their work. Okay, and while jyotishis of the earliest days, they relied on the Vedic deities as ISHTA devatas. Today, some people, they make one of the grahas into the ISHTA devata, while others worship to prefer an ISHTA devata who can control all the 9 grahas or the navagrahas. All right, and then there are a few jyotishis who will consider Jyotirvidya herself as the ISHTA devata. So it all depends on your personal preference. Okay, and because all humans, except for the finest of saints, all humans always sit securely in the grasp of the grahas. The graha or the grahas which have seized the client's mind may so disturb the jyotishi's mind that the jyotishi will offer poor advice, and this is very much possible. Okay, so if the client is, for example, if the client is running a sadhasati and goes to the jyotishi, then Saturn might actually possess the jyotishi, so that poor advice is given and the client ends up landing in even more trouble. Okay, so what this does is that it will this in turn enhances the likelihood that the client will perform the action that is fated by those karmas. Okay, so what the ISHTA devata does is that it protects the jyotishi, and as long as the ISHTA devata possesses the jyotishi, the client's grahas will be unable to will be unable to leave their impressions on the jyotishi, and this will provide the jyotishi with a bigger perspective, a greater reality from which to advise the client. Okay, so the ISHTA devata, it makes it easier to live a life in which you act of your own volition. Okay, of your of your own will, instead of being perpetually driven by your karmas or the karmas of others to act in frequently undesirable ways. All right, and another reason why why jyotishis must cultivate a relationship with an ISHTA devata is because as jyotishis, we are always coming to crossroads in readings. Okay, at which 2 or more interpretations can seem equally feasible. Okay, for example, let us take this combination of Mars and Saturn. Okay, so as we look, if we come across the combination of Mars and Saturn in a client's horoscope, that Mars and Saturn combination can lead to 2 feasible conclusions. One is that it can actually lead to a separation from the spouse, and the other is that it can actually lead to a lot of money. Okay, and if both of these interpretations seem equally feasible, at those moments the ISHTA devata it can literally jump the gap or reduce the gap in our model of reality and flash us the right answer. Okay, and the fluctuations in the mind will occur because of the continual interchange of sattva, rajas, and tamas. And when you worship an ISHTA devata, your focus restrains those fluctuations. Okay, those fluctuations are are restrained, your focus becomes sharp, and this permits a little spark of reality to flow from your ISHTA devata to you. Okay, that means to the jyotishi, and it is this spark which appears in your awareness. It is as intuition. Okay, the most commonly used word for intuition today is in fact ISHTA bala. Okay, is ISHTA bala. This is the proper word to use for intuition. The Sanskrit equivalent of intuition is ISHTA bala. It means literally the strength of the deity. Okay, and it is, it was this strength that the rishis who originated jyotish tapped into in order to collect and systemize their astrological information. Okay, and through the worship of an ISHTA devata, one can achieve great heights in astrology. Okay, the intuitive powers can be highly magnified. Okay, and for some people, worshipping of an ISHTA devata may require one to indulge in some kind of idol worship, and that is all fine. Okay, because at the end of the day, all the deities are really the representatives of that one reality. Okay, so what happens is that when we worship a personal deity or an ISHTA devata, we are actually indirectly worshiping the absolute supreme. Okay, the singular, the singular god who hides behind the mask of the deity's personality. All right, and worshipping of deities really means appreciating them for the skill with which they play their roles in the cosmic drama. Now one can also use the formless, one can also worship the formless one, the the nirgun aspect of God directly, but that nirgun, that nirgun aspect is something which is indifferentiated, unqualified, and absolute. That is the that is the translation of the word nirgun. It is without any gunas. Okay, but then as jyotishis we live in the world. Okay, as jyotishis we live in a world which is relative, which is qualified, and which is differentiated. That is the reason Hinduism always always advises the worship of of a vigraha. It always advises the worship of God in the form of a vigraha, okay, or in the form of an idol, right? And the personal relationship that you create with an ISHTA devata, it plugs you into a personal relationship with the one reality. That means with the with the nirguna aspect of God, who is actually the source of all questions and all answers. Okay, but then intuition alone is insufficient for the practice of jyotish, because unless and until you are a great saint, you will be you'll be unable to call on your deity for help and advice 24 hours a day, even if you should want to do it. Okay, so what happened is that the rishis, they systemized jyotish for lesser mortals like us, who have to use rational methods and intuitive powers to complement one another, and only those who become adept at both these approaches to divination, that means who use their rational methods as well as intuitive powers in balance, only they can become fit receptacles for the jyotirvidya to manifest. Okay, so this is my take on ISHTA devata. You can leave behind your comments, valuable comments, that is, regarding your take, whether you accept it or not. It's not, it's completely acceptable that you don't have to agree, you don't agree to all my opinions, to all the things that I share. Okay, so let me know in the comments below, and if you want a consultation or a reading regarding your chart, you can always ping me at the number that is given in the description box. Okay, so that's it from me in this video. I'll see you soon in another video. Namaste everyone. Om Gurave Namaha.